3. Lakers had 4 blocks in the first. They led by 21 after 1. There was one great moment in this game. Watch LeBron. Just keep your eyes on LeBron in the corner. They're going to get it to him. As he lets go of the 3, he just turns to his bench and says, yo, I got this. And as we show you this again, he's the only person on the floor not looking as this ball is there. You see his bench is reacting. Just take a look. As he takes the shot, everyone's eyes are on the ball except for LeBron, who never looks. And down it goes. LeBron James scored 26 on the night. I told you Deshaun Watson was there. He was taken in the action. But James Harden was not happy. And afterwards, he said this.
We're just not good enough. We don't obviously chemistry, talent-wise, just everything. And it was clear. I love this city. I literally done everything that I can. The situation is crazy. It's something that I don't think can be fixed. So, yeah, thanks.
And so that was that. The situation cannot be fixed. Here's Woj, Adrian Wojnarowski, our NBA insider extraordinaire. So what is the reaction around the league to James Harden finally saying out loud what we've sort of known all along he wanted?
Well, Greeny, certainly this is an orchestrated attempt, to push Houston to get a trade done sooner than later. And they've been discussing James Harden, with the organization, with management, with ownership, about continuing to look for a deal for him. And you've seen James Harden, listen, more than what he said in that news conference, I think his play recently has spoke even louder than that. 4 straight games under 20 points. I mean, James Harden can roll out of bed in the morning and give you 30 and 10. He hasn't done that lately. Certainly, there's friction with his new teammates, with some of his new teammates in Houston. It's very clear to them, that his mind is elsewhere right now. And so, listen, I just think for the Rockets organization, they continue to try to find a deal that gets them maximum value for Harden, because you only get one chance to trade a player of this caliber. You've got to get back as much as you can.
All right, so we opened today with 2 Houston superstars that are looking to move out of that city. Then the other story in the NBA we're following, of course, is the latest with Kyrie Irving and the video that circulated yesterday of him maskless at a party. He hasn't been with the team at all. This was a statement from the team's general manager, Sean Marks. Quote, "We are aware of a video on social media featuring Kyrie Irving at a family gathering. We are reviewing the circumstances with both Kyrie and the NBA in order to determine compliance with health and safety protocols. Kyrie will have the opportunity to address his absence when he is ready to do so." So I don't even know where to begin with this, Woj. Where are we right now with the Nets and with Kyrie and any possibility of return?
Well, we'll start here, Greeny, in terms of when he could return. It's not up to Kyrie anymore. It's not up to the Nets. It's going to be up to the NBA. It's out of Kyrie's hands. Him just saying, I'd like to come back and play again, won't work, because as you saw with James Harden, when the league put him in quarantine after it was clear he had been at clubs, places that are not allowed right now under the COVID protocols. I think if this video is determined to be current, and there's no reason to believe it isn't right now, Kyrie Irving is going to have to sit. He's going to lose money if that's the case. And so, listen, this is an organization that is really waiting to hear from Kyrie Irving about when he wants to play again, about why specifically he's away. And, I think there are still a lot of answers to be gathered, but you're not going to see Kyrie Irving on the floor, certainly in the next several days, probably not next week.
Yeah, I think concerning is the operative word here. Woj, stay close. I'm going to come back to you a little bit later because there's a lot.
In sync. James Harden and the Houston Rockets are completely out of sync. They lost to the Lakers, got blown out. We know the situation. He's been on the trade block. The Rockets are holding out for the best possible package they can get. As I mentioned, the NBA trade deadline is in March. But James Harden essentially last night told the fans, listen, I have literally given you everything I got. What more do you want from me?
We're just not good enough. Obviously, chemistry, talent-wise, just everything. And it was clear, like I said, these last few games, from the beginning of the game. They were just aggressive, veteran team, obviously, championship team, and one of the best teams that we have in this league. I love this city. I literally have done everything that I can I mean, this situation is crazy. You know, it's something that I don't think can be fixed. So, yeah, thanks.
Jay?
Demanded a trade. The first time was nonverbal when he turned down the $50 million a year extension. $50 million a year extension. He turned it down, said, nah, I'm good. I don't want the money. I'm trying to be out. Now he actually verbalized that, telling everybody, look, I don't want to be here. It's only 10 games into the season. 10 games into the season, Key. What's going to happen when we get to 20, when we get to 30? Raphael Stone, they need to really highly consider how chaotic and how problematic this is going to be if this continues.
Yeah, I think they're gonna move him at some point. They're just waiting for the right deal that's out there to come to fruition. I'm sure, and this is the first time verbally, much like you mentioned, that he said something. And again, I'll go back to one of my biggest things is when a player finally says that he doesn't want to be there, it's time for the organization to part ways, and I think they will at some point in time very soon.
The last thing I would say about this, we have all praised the new head coach, Steven Silas, who was put in a nearly untenable position. We have all praised the general manager, Raphael Stone, as mentioned there by Jay, coming in, waiting to get the right opportunity. But this is one of those moments in sports, and I'm giving these dudes the benefit of the doubt. They're in those positions for a reason. But this is the reason where sometimes a little gray behind the temples and having some experience at either the head coach or the general manager position is vital. This is going to be the biggest asset they either move or get back in return, no matter how long these guys are in their positions. That's how talented Harden is. And right now, if somebody that's pulling the trigger has never been a head coach and never been a GM, you just got to step back and say, you're in this job for a reason, but I'm a little bit nervous. I'd rather have somebody that's been there and done that. Just my opinion.
And Zubin, it could work out in their favor. Just consider there are a lot of teams in Eastern Conference right now that are going through injuries, that are going through COVID, COVID protocol. A lot of players missing time. So if you want to make a move in the East, it might work out in Raphael Stone's favor, but there's no doubt there's a time crunch.
You got it. In 20 minutes, by the way, we'll talk to the front office insider, Bobby Marks, spent over 20 years in NBA front offices, and the Rockets are a singular problem. The league has a collective problem. Like, are we going to make it to next week? We'll talk about that with Bobby Marks coming up in 20 minutes. Apparently.